So thank you very much for joining in our Srimad Bhagavatam class. We are reading 4th canto, 30th chapter, text 43. Maitreya Vacha Iti Praseto Bir Visuto Hari Prita Tatetya Sharanya Vatsalaha Anichitam Jnanam Matrupta Chakshusam Yaya Swadamana Apavarga Virya Maitreya Vacha. Maitreya said, Eti, thus, praseto bhi, by the prasetas, abhisutaha, been praised, Harihi, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, pritaha, been pleased, tataha, so, iti, thus, said, saranya, to the surrendered soul, Vatsalaha, affectionate, Anichitam, not desiring, Jnanam, Vitipacha, Atrupta, not satisfied, Chakshusam, their eyes, Yayav, he left, Swadama, to his own abode, Anapavarga Viryaha, whose prowess is never defeated. Translation: The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear Vidura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the protractor of the surrendered soul, being thus addressed by the Prasetas and worshipped by them, replied, May whatever you have prayed for be fulfilled. After saying this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose prowess is never defeated, left. The Prasetas were unwilling to be separated from him because they had not seen him to their full satisfaction. Yes? This is the verse. The great sage Maitreya continued. My dear Vidura, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, being thus addressed by the Prasetas and worshipped by them, replied, May whatever you have prayed for be fulfilled. After saying this, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose prowess is never defeated, left. The Prasetas were unwilling to be separated from him because they had not seen him to their full satisfaction. Purport by Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The word Anapavarga Virya is significant in this verse. The word Ana means without, Apavarga means the materialistic way of life, and Virya means prowess. This prowess of the Supreme Personality of Godhead always contains 6 basic opulence, one of which is renunciation. Although the Prasetas desired to see the Lord to their full satisfaction, the Lord left. According to Srila Jiva Goswami, this is an exhibition of his kindness to the innumerable other devotees. Although he was being attracted by the Prasetas, he left. This is an example of his renunciation. His renunciation was also exhibited by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu when he stayed with Advaita Prabhu after taking sannyas. All the devotees there wanted him to stay a few days longer, but Lord Chaitanya left without hesitation. The conclusion is that although the Supreme Lord has unlimited kindness for his devotees, he is not attached to anyone. He is equally kind to his innumerable devotees all over the creation. Omagyanativirandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurlamilitamyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Satpitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamam Didati Swaparandikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagajatam Sahagana Raghunathavitam Tam Sajim Shadvitam Javadutam Parajanam Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishaganutam Visyam Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Dashavanu Sita Devi Pranamami Hare Priya Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvyevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shri Gauravakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you again for joining our program. Very nice to have you with us. So continuing the subject matter of the Prasetas in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Prasetas are about 11 sons, 10 sons of King Prachanabhayi, and they went to the ocean somewhere, I think it's near the Bay of Bengal, the Bombay side, the west side, Sindhu River. So there they went under the ocean to do this tapasya, and they were doing this austerity for hundreds of years, for 10,000 years. I mean, this may seem a little bit strange, but it's a fact. They had the mystic power, and they went there and they were doing this tapasya, and because of their severe austerity, because before they went, Lord Shiva gave them some mantra to chant, and then they chanted this mantra, and this way they pleased the Lord Krishna, and the Lord came down to see them, to show their conclusion of the austerity. So when they saw the Lord, they were praying very with a lot of devotion, and the Lord became very pleased with their prayers. See? So they have been praying as we were covering so many verses. So the Lord is now blessing them and saying that whatever you prayed for, let it come true. So this is another unique position of the Lord. Anyone who goes to the Lord cannot become frustrated. See? It's a very important point, So it says here in this verse, the Lord continued, my dear Rishi, O leader of the living entities, for those who serve me in devotion by worshipping me, especially persons like you who have given up everything unto me, there's never any question of frustration. Okay? So in other words, if you go to the Lord, you cannot become frustrated. Then you may ask this question, how is it that we are going and praying is not fulfilling our so-called desires? Yes? How you answer that? Many people are getting frustrated and not getting their desires fulfilled. Yeah? How you say? Doesn't mean that because you're sweeping the road and you pray to the Lord for $1 million, the Lord is going to give you. You have to have the necessary qualification. That's why the Lord is, one word is that He is the witness and He is also the permitter. It's not that He is just witnessing, He is also, whether you qualify or not, I think we covered that verse 7:1 something, that is equally disposed to everybody. It is not that he is partial to this and part, no, he is equal. But according to a person's capacity, then the Lord rewards. As you surrender, the Lord rewards accordingly, is it not? What is that? 4:11? 4:10? So here see in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Ye yeta mam prapadyante tam tateva bhajamyam aham mamavatmanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, the son of Pita. So as we surrender, the Lord rewards. If the surrender is not there, then how you expect the Lord to give? Does it make any sense? Right? So that requires faith. You understand this point? So the Lord is not unkind. But if a person's attitude is not fully, surrendered to the Lord, then how the Lord will reciprocate? You understand this? Not that you go to the Lord will automatically fulfill all your desires. No. Yes? Right? So there's, I think that's the verse, no? Gopika Sutta. What is that verse? 10:9. So here you see this verse is very important verse. Nayam sukha po bhagavan dehinam gopika sukha jnaninam cha atma bhutanam yata bhakti matam yaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, the son of Mother Yashoda, is accessible to devotees engaged in spontaneous, loving service. But he is not as easily accessible to mental speculators, to those who are striving for self-realization by severe austerities and penances, or those who consider the body the same as the self. You understand this word? Although it is easily accessible to everybody, but it does not go to those who are non-devotees. You understand? He says here, it is accessible to the devotees, engaged in spontaneous living service, but is not as easily accessible to mental speculators. That means those people who don't surrender. Or those who are doing this big tapasya, yogi. And to those who consider this body as everything. You see, that means the karmis, the jnanis and the yogis, they have no access. And the Bhagavad Gita also he says, no? 6 what? 647? What about 46? Which one is better? Yeah? Huh? 46. 46, huh? So you see, even the Lord saying here, a yogi, here this word yogi refers to bhakti yogi here, is greater than ascetic. Who is ascetic? Huh? Who is ascetic? Ascetic means the yogi, the mystic yogi. No? One who is trying to get mystic powers. Huh? Greater than the empirics. Who is the empirics? The speculators. The mental. And is greater than the fruiting worker. Who is this fruiting worker? Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances be a bhakti yogi. What is it? Yes, Sanskrit. Oh, the word is also used. Yogi. Tapasviti, jnanabhyaha, adhikaha, karmibhyaha, this. So Krishna is advising Arjuna to become a bhakti yogi. So this is more clear in this verse. Yoginam api sarvesham matkatentaratmanaha sudavan bhajante yoma same yuktatamo mata. So Krishna is qualified. Of all yogis, the one who is with great faith who abides in me, thinks of me within himself and renders transcendental loving service to me, is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is highest of all. That is my opinion. So if you want the Lord to fulfill all your desires, then the best thing is to become a devotee. You understand? So when you become a devotee, it is not that you have, tons of desire. Actually you become, your desire transformed. That you only want His association. You don't want, all material things, no. As Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, no, I don't want na dhanam, na janam, na sundari. So that means if you become a devotee, then your desires get purified. That's why the Prasadas also, now what is his name? Dhruva Maharaj. Dhruva Maharaj, he wanted a kingdom higher than his father. So not his father, bigger than his grandfather, right? Brahma, he wanted something higher than Brahma. So the Lord gave him that. But after the Lord disappeared, he became completely unhappy. That I came asking, to see the Lord is difficult, correct? Everybody can see, no? And I have got the chance. So although I got the chance, I asked for something stupid. That's what he is thinking. He was completely dissatisfied. The word again, atrupta chakshusha. He was completely frustrated. Why did I do this? Why did I go see the Lord and ask for some childish things? You see how the devotee gets purified. So devotee's consciousness must come to this level. You understand? Not that he comes to Krishna and demands unlimited material desire. Devotee. So that's why that verse, he says, I came looking for broken glasses. I found a valuable jewel instead. I don't want anything anymore. And the Lord likewise also, He is not happy when the devotees come to Him and make unlimited, what is that? He asks for unlimited material benefits. The Lord is not happy. He is not happy actually. You can see, what is that verse? This is the one, right? O pass of the intelligent demigods, although it is true that nothing is difficult for one to obtain when I am pleased with Him. This is the word just now. What we have? The Lord, the sloka, what is it? What is that Sanskrit? That is what? What? Apavarga virya, correct? Although it is true that nothing is difficult for one to obtain when I am pleased with Him. This is the point. A pure devotee whose mind is exclusively fixed upon me does not ask me for anything but the opportunity to engage in devotional service. You understand? No? Yeah? Is that understood? Yeah? That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, no, I don't want nothing. Hey, the same philosophy, I don't want nothing. Right? And Krishna is also saying here, he won't ask me anything. That's why Krishna will offer him. No, I don't want it. Now what do you want? I just want to be your servant. In fact, I don't want to be your servant. I want to be the servant of your servant. See how the devotee gets purified. See? And all he wants is to be with the Lord. And he don't want to be separated from the Lord at any moment. You see here another word is important, that's the same point. Those who think that material assets to be everything or to be the ultimate goal of life are called misers, kripa. This is spoken by the Lord. They do not know that the ultimate necessity of the soul. Moreover, if one wants that which is desired by such fools, he must also be considered foolish. See how the Lord... So if you come here, of course, for a person who is neophyte, if he comes and asks the sky, because the Lord will encourage him. It is not that the Lord will not, you just turn him away. It's not like that. It's just encourage him. You know that verse in the Bhagavad Gita, right? 7, 16, 15? Huh? 4 kinds of people who come to me. 16. So 4 kinds of people will come to the Lord. One is what? Artha, Arthi. Artha, Arthi, Jnani, Jigyasu, inquisitive, the one who is wise, the one who is in distress, and one who wants some material benefit. So they are all this 4. I think I'll show you, right? This is easier. So these 4 classes of people, they go to the Lord, The 4 classes. Chaturvida, Bhajante Mam, Jana, Sukirtinor Juna, Artha, the one who is what? Distressed. Jikyasu, the one who is inquisitive. Artha Arthi means the one who wants some material benefit. And Jnani, the wise man. So there is four kinds of people who surrender to the Lord. For best among the Bharatas, four kinds of pious men begin to render devotional service unto me, the distressed, the desire wealth, the inquisitive, and he is searching for knowledge of the Absolute. So all of them are pious. The Lord never say they are bad. He says they all are, Of this, the one who is in full knowledge and is always engaged in pure devotional service is the best. For I am very dear to him and he is dear to me. So in the classification, the one who is a devotee is best. So in other words, if you go to the Lord and not ask anything, then the Lord is very, very pleased with you. Actually, even the Lord says, if you come to me also, even you have millions of desires, the Lord is saying like this. The Supreme Personality of Godhead fulfills the material desires of a devotee who approaches him with such motive. But he does not bestow benediction upon the devotee that will cause him to demand more benediction again. However, the Lord willingly gives the devotee shelter at his own lotus feet, even though such a person does not aspire for it, and that shelter satisfies all his desires. That is the Lord, Supreme Personality's special notion. You understand this thing? This is the point. So the Lord is going to give him something higher. That is the mercy of the Lord. You coming to me and asking me peanuts. No, why I should give you peanuts? No, I'll give you the highest thing. Yes, this is God. Whereas you go to the demigods, they will not do that. The demigods, if you go to them, they will only give you what? You desire. According to your karma, not that they simply you ask them, they'll give you the sky also. Whatever your karma, attending your karma, yes. You understand? But that thing will keep you what? Bonded. This material desire that we are asking the Lord, and the Lord says also that it is even available in the hellish planet also. It is available even in the hellish planet. So one who is foolish, you know the word, no? Available even in hellish planet. 1060, speaking to Rukmini, 1060, 54. So you see here, the Lord says here, fortunately, O mistress of the house, you have always rendered. Are you sure this is? Hello? O supreme reservoir of love, O supreme reservoir of love. Unfortunate are they who, even after obtaining me, the Lord of both liberation and material riches, hanker only for material treasures. These worldly gains can be found even in hell. Since such persons are obsessed with sense gratification, hell is the fitting place for them. See how the Lord is speaking, this is speaking to Rukmini. Understand? Yeah? See, this is the neophyte devotees and the Lord. Now when we speak about this other word, atripta chakshusa, once the devotee contacted the Lord, then he doesn't want anything else. He doesn't want anything. That's why here the Prasetas, after seeing the Lord, and the Lord is leaving, and they were not happy. They were not satisfied. See this point? So when you see the Lord, and you all your desires are full, and you don't want to leave Him also. You understand? I will explain here. This is the other side, that those who have got contact with the Lord. Krishna has two reddish, whitely spread eyes. They are ministers of the king and they subdue the pride of Cupid, who also has beautiful eyes. That face of Govinda, which is full of happiness, is the home of the pastimes of beauty and is very pleasing to everyone's eyes. So this is the difference, that when they see Krishna, they like now the Prasetas saw Krishna. And when they saw him, that's it, they were not happy when the Lord is leaving, because they want to be with, always their eyes were fixed in only seeing Him. If by devotional service one gets the result of pious activities and see Lord Krishna's face, what he can relish with his two eyes, with only two eyes. His greed and thirst increase twofold by seeing the nectarian face of Krishna. Due to this inability to sufficiently drink that nectar, he becomes very unhappy and criticizes the Creator for not having given more than two eyes. This is exactly what's going on with the mind of the Prasetas and the Lord. They are not interested in material. They saw the Lord and the beauty. What? You see here? This greed and thirst increase twofold by seeing the nectarian face of Krishna. Due to his inability to sufficiently drink that nectar, atripta chakshusha, he becomes very unhappy and criticizes the Creator for not giving even more than two eyes. See, here same thing, that they were not happy, the Lord is leaving and they are not happy because they are not fully satisfied in seeing the Lord to their full satisfaction. In fact, this is spoken by the Gopis. Why did they give only two eyes? They should give more. Yes? When the onlooker of Krishna's face becomes dissatisfied in this way, he thinks, why didn't the Creator give me thousands and millions of eyes? Why has He only given me only two? When these two eyes are disturbed by, even these two eyes are disturbed by blinking, which keeps me from continuously seeing Krishna's face. Thus, one accuses the Creator for being dry and tasteless due to engaging in severe austerity. The Creator is only a dry manufacturer. He does not know how to create and set things in their proper places. You see how the Gopis are spread? This is spoken by the Gopis. How they are thinking, here the Lord is standing here, we have no time to see. Yes? We are hiding somewhere else there, we will come here. You see how the difference in our consciousness, correct? Yes, although he is so beautifully dressed. so much charming, standing in his three-banga form, but our attraction. That is, one who is materially contaminated just now is inaccessible just now. What is that? Gopika Sutta, that verse. What is the beginning one? Nayam Sukhapo Bhagavan. This is difference, you see. So the gopis who are topmost devotees, they are thinking like this, why the Lord has given me two hands. And here we visit consciousness, because one who is materially polluted, then he will not have the desire for appreciating the beauty of the Lord. See? So it says here again, the Creator says, let those who will see Krishna's beautiful face have two eyes. Just see the lack of concentration exhibited by this person posing as the Creator. If the Creator took my advice, he would give millions of eyes to the person who intends to see Krishna's face. If the Creator will accept his advice, then I would say that he is competent in his work. This is the mood of the gopis, their friends. They want to see Krishna because they don't want to have any interruption. They are fulfilled. So much satisfaction. The transcendental form of Lord Krishna is compared to an ocean of sweetness. A particular extraordinary vision is the moon above the ocean, Sri Krishna's face. And even more extraordinary vision is his smile, which is sweeter than the sweet and his shining beams of moonlight. You know, this verse is there in the, what's his name? Bilva Mangal Thakur. Madhuram Madhuram Madhugandhi. You know that verse? Huh? What?
Next shloka.
Next shloka. While speaking these things with Sanatana Goswami, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to remember one thing after another. Moving his hands in ecstasy, he recited this verse. This is from the, Bilva Mangal Thakur's what book is that? Krishna Krsna. Madhuram Madhuram Vapuvasya Vibhu. How you chant this meter for this?
Madhuram Madhuram Madhurasya Vibhu Madhuram Madhuram Varanam Madhuram 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 Madhuram.
Children can learn this verse. Huh? 21:136. See how nice this verse. Madhuram means what? Sweet. Sweeter. Huh? I used to remember this verse and when I was doing my daily worship, I would be chanting it. And those days, I'm talking about 1980s. And I remember this. Oh my Lord, the transcendental body of Krishna is very sweet, and his face is even sweeter than his body. But his soft smile, which has the fragrance of honey, is still sweeter. This is from Bilva Mangal, who is blind now. You know that? Blind. You know the story, right? Blind. So you see how the Lord body of Krishna is sweet, his face is sweeter, and his soft smile, which has the fragrance of honey, is still sweeter. See how the devotees they are meditating on the form of the Lord like this. This is one, see, quoted from the Krishna Karnamrita 92, Bilva Mangal Thakur. My dear Sanatan, the sweetness of Krishna's personality is like an ocean embroidered. Although my mind is now afflicted by convulsive disease, And I wish to drink that entire ocean. The repressive physician does not allow me to drink even one drop. The God is speaking in a metaphorical manner. Krishna's body is a city of attractive features and it's sweeter than the sweet. His face, which is like the moon, is sweeter still and supremely sweet. Gentle smile on that moon-like face is like the rays of moonshine. This is what is the same. This is, where is this from? Oh, this is from the Bhagavatam. Smile on Krishna's face is just like the smiling of the moon. It generates greater and greater happiness for the gopis. See? This is what's in the Bhagavatam. Why not in the Bhagavatam? It doesn't look like Bhagavatam verse. Must be some other. He's speaking in this. The beauty of Krishna's smile is sweetest feature of all. His smile is like the full moon that spreads its rays throughout the three worlds, Goloka Vrindavan, the spiritual sky of the Vaikunthas, and the Devi Dham, the material world. Thus Krishna's shining beauty spreads in all 10 directions. His slight smiling and fragrant illumination are compared to camphor which enters the sweetness of his leaf. That sweetness it transforms and enters into the space as vibration from the holes of his flute. The sound of Krishna's flute spread in the four directions. Even though Krishna vibrates his flute within this universe, its sound pierces the universal covering and goes to the spiritual sky. Thus the vibration enters the ears of all inhabitants, especially enters Goloka Vrindavan Dham, and attracts the minds of the young damsels of Vrajabhumi, bringing them forcibly to where Krishna is present. So, flute playing. That's why the four things are very unique only in Krishna, and one of it is his flute playing. It's so attractive. And the gopis, they're the words. They say they want to hear him playing the flute in the fifth note. No, sa, ri, ga, ma, pa, right? Is that? Those who know music, fifth note is? Fifth octave. They translate as note. High pitch, I think. So can you imagine that it's the highest, I think, yes? So they played on the fifth note. I mean, it's a very high pitch, and the Lord attracts everyone with it. The flute especially. They want to hear that vibration, they say. There's a verse, fifth note. The vibration of Krishna's flute is very aggressive when he breaks the vows of all chaste women. Indeed, his vibration takes them forcibly from the laps of their husbands. The vibration of his flute attracts even the goddess of fortune in the Vaikuntha planet, to say nothing of the poor damsels of Vrindavan. How attractive Krishna is. The vibration of his flute slackens the knot of their underwear even in front of their husband. Thus the gopis are forced to abandon their household duties and come before Lord Krishna. And this way all social antics, shame and fear are all vanquished. The vibration of flute causes all women to dance. So this is how Krishna attracts everyone. The vibration of flute is like a bird that creates a nest within the ears of the gopis and always remains prominent there, not allowing any other sound to enter their ears. Indeed, the gopis cannot hear anything else, nor are they able to concentrate on anything else, not even to give a suitable reply. Such are the effects of the vibration of Lord Krishna's flute. So the attraction of the gopis for the Lord is so intense that they don't want anything else. So they don't want anything else, They just want to be only with the Lord. See? Just like here, the Praseta, they don't want anything more, they just want to be. So here, when the young gopis heard that Akrura had come to Braja to take Krishna and Balaram to the city, they became extremely distressed. See the mind of the gopis. They are only living for Krishna. They just don't want to be separated from him. Just like here, the Praseta, they were not happy the Lord is leaving. See? See the mood. Some gopis felt so pain in the heart that their faces turned pale from the heavy breathing. Others were so anguished that their dresses, bracelet and braid became loose. Their mind was so disturbed. You understand this point? How much they have love for the Lord that they cannot even think of the separation. See, this is love, you know. God, they are the topmost personalities. There is no other devotee higher than the gopis. Other gopis entirely stop their sensory activities and become fixed in meditation on Krishna. They lost all awareness of the external world, just like those who attained the platform of self-realization. They were so frustrated, they just cannot give up thinking of Krishna. A very intense love for Krishna. Right? This is Krishna Prema. And still other young women fainted simply by remembering the words of Lord Sauri, Krishna. This word decorated with wonderful phrases and expressed with affectionate smile deeply touched the young girl's heart. How much they were intensely in love with him. They remembered the words. And he is smiling. You know. How much he has captivated them. The gopis were frightened at the prospect of even the briefest separation from Lord Mukunda. They're frightened. You see the word here? So now as they remember his graceful gait, his pastime, his affectionate, smiling glances, his heroic deeds and his joking words, which would relieve their distress, they were beside themselves with anxiety at the thought of the great separation about to come. They gathered in groups and spoke to one another, their faces covered with tears and their minds fully absorbed in the chitta. Yeah, how intense they are. You know, here the Praseta, I'm trying to describe the separation. And this is the topmost separated, he hasn't left yet. They are already so paranoid. They cannot stand it. They got together, they were crying. You understand? This intensity. And then the gopi said, "O Providence, you have no mercy. You bring embodied creatures together in friendship and love and then senselessly separate them before they fulfill their desires. This whimsical play of yours is like a child's game." You know, whereas the Prasedas, they were also not happy the Lord is leaving. You know, they just got to, the Lord will not come there and stay for hours and hours. No? So they saw him and they were so much attracted to him. And they don't want him to leave actually. The same mood with the gopis. Yeah, the Lord. They cannot tolerate this separation. Not at all. And now they are blaming providence. What do you do things like this? And then they say, if I catch you, having shown us Mukunda's face, framed by dark locks and beautified by fine cheeks, raised nose, gentle smiles which eradicate all miseries, you are now making that face invisible This behavior of yours is not at all good. See how they are cursing Providence? Oh Providence, though you have come here with the name Akrura, they're blaming who? Akrura means not cruel, you know. You indeed cruel, cruel.
Sanskrit is nice to see the Sanskrit. The verse.
Oh, this verse is very nice. All these verses are from the Bhagavad Gita. Krurastvam akura samyak samakyaya sma nas. Chakshusaiti datam harse vacha bata gyavat yenaika dese akhila sarva sausta vadiyam adrikshama vayam madhu dvishaha. This is a very painful part of the Bhagavatam, you know. This one is the most painful. I remember I had a show in 1988, 1988 I had in the World Trade Center. We were doing this Krishna Leela. I don't know, that video is no more around. I saw the video. And one scene was the gopis, Krishna was leaving and the gopis were crying. And that scene was so captivating, the whole audience was crying. I remember that's so touching. The drama, the drama. Because they were professional artists coming from Karnataka. They set the scene of the gopis, you know. Very, very touching. How they were leaving, Krishna was going in the chariot. Oh Providence, though you have come here with the name Akrura, you are indeed cruel. You are like a fool. You are taking away what you once gave us. Those eyes that which we have seen, even in one feature of Lord Madhu Dvisha's form, the perfection of your entire creation. Alas, Nanda's son who breaks loving friendship in a second will not even look directly at us. Forcibly brought under his control, we have abandoned our homes, relatives, children and husbands just to serve him. But he is always looking for new lovers. See? Actually, the word is lampata. You know? When we chant our Shisastaka prayer, that part is not translated. Do you know that? In the Shisastaka prayer, that lampata word is not translated. Do you know? You know? Yeah. There is always what? What is the word? Lampata? Debauchee. Because here the gopis are saying the same thing. Is that the word here? Lampata? No, it is not here. The dawn following this night will certainly be auspicious for the women of Mathura. All their hopes will now be fulfilled, for as Lord of Raja enters their city, they will be able to drink from his face the nectar of the smile emanating from the corners of his eyes. So they are praising the woman in Mathura. He is going to go. Oh gopis, although our Mukunda is intelligent and very obedient to his parents, once he has fallen under the spell of the honey-sweet words of the woman of Mathura and been enchanted by their alluring shy smile, how will he ever return to us unsophisticated village girls? So they know that he is not going to come back. See how they are very much, painful in the heart. And the separation. When the Dasahars, Bhojas, Andakas, Vrishni and Satvatas see the son of Devaki in Mathura, they will certainly enjoy a great festival for their eyes. As well, all those who see him traveling along the road to the city, after all, is the darling of the goddess of fortune and the reservoir of transcendental qualities. He who is doing this merciless deed should not be called Akrura. He is so extremely cruel that without even trying to console the sorrowful resident of Brija, he is taking away Krishna, who is more dear to us than life itself. See how in the Sanskrit? Hard-hearted Krishna has already mounted the chariot. And now the foolish cowards are hurrying after him in their full guts. They was really frightened. Can you imagine the mind of the gopis, Even the elders are saying nothing to stop him. Today, fate is working against us. How much frustrated they are. They were going mad. Actually, they were going crazy. You understand how their intense love cannot be equated with anything else. It's not possible. See? Sridhar Maharaj. Sridhar Maharaj, Sridhar Swami revealed that the gopis thought the foolish coward man and elders are not even trying to stop Krishna. Don't they realize they are committing suicide? They are helping Krishna to go to Mathura, but they will have to come back to Vrindavan and will certainly die in his absence. The whole world has now become nonsensical. See? They are frustrated. Krishna is going and nobody is stopping him. Come on, he will not come back. See that separation? Yes? Let us directly approach Madhava and stop him from going. What can our family elders and other relatives do to us? Now that faith is separating us from Mukunda, our hearts are already wretched, for we cannot bear to give up his association even for a fraction of a second. See the intensity? They cannot even give up a fraction of a second. See, this verse is very nice, this verse here. Nivaraya samupetya madhavam kim no karishya kulavrata bandhava mukunda sangam nimisha. You see this word? Nimisha artha. Even a fraction of a second. Dustyajat, we cannot bear. Daivena vidvamsita dinas setasham. Srila Vatsana Chakravarti described what the gopis thought. Let's go right up to Krishna and pull at his clothes and hands and insist that he can get down from his chariot and stay here with us. See. They were desperate. And I want Krishna to go. You see the intensity. We will tell him, don't bring upon yourself the sinful reaction of murdering so many women. That means the gopis were going to give up their lives. If Krishna goes, they are going to commit suicide. You see how the intensity of love. But if we do that, they said the other gopis, our relatives and village elders will discover secret love for Krishna and abandon us. But what can they do to us? Yes, our lives are already wretched now that Krishna is living. We have nothing to lose. That's right. We will remain in Vrindavan forest just like presiding goddesses, and then we can fulfill our true desire to stay with Krishna in the forest. Yes, even if the elders and relatives punish us by beating us or locking us up, we can still live happily with the knowledge that Krishna is residing in our village. Some of our girlfriends who are not in prison will cleverly find a way to bring out the remnants of Krishna's food, and then we can remain alive. But if Krishna is not stopped, we will certainly die. See how they were planning? They are scheming. They cannot get separated from Krishna at all costs. Period. Understand? They cannot bear it. When he brought us to the assembly of the Rasa dance, where we enjoyed his affection and charming smile, his delightful secret talks, his playful glances and his embraces, we passed many nights as if they were a single moment. Oh gopis, how can we possibly cross over the insurmountable darkness of his absence? That one night was equal to the one night of Brahma. You know, this night that the Lord danced Rasa Leela, it was one night of Brahma. He condensed the whole night of Brahma into our, you see, that's Krishna, you know. Even having that long association, they cannot bear this last separation. The intense love for Krishna is so great. How can we exist without Ananda's friend Krishna, who in the evening would return to Braja in the company of the cowherd boys? He sang and garland powder with the dust raised by the cow's hooves. As he played with his flute, he would captivate our mind with his smiling, sight-long glances. Sukadeva Goswami said, after speaking this word, the ladies of Braja who were so attached to Krishna felt extremely agitated by the imminent separation from him. They forgot all shame and cried out, "Oh Govinda, oh Damodar, oh Madhava." I think there's a song, right, you know? This is the song here they chant. Govinda, Damodar, Madhava eti, you know, there's a... Yeah.
It's a very long song, 71 verses.
Yeah, this has got this Govinda, Damodar, Madhava. So you see how they are chanting, they are completely fried. For a long time the gopis had carefully hidden their conjugal love for Krishna, but now that Krishna was leaving, the gopis were so distressed that they could no longer hide their feelings. But even as the gopis cried out in this way, Akrura, having at sunrise performed his morning worship and other duties, began to drive the chariot. According to some Vaishnava authorities, Akrura offended the gopis by not consoling them when he took Krishna to Mathura. And because of this offense, Akrura was later forced to leave Dwaraka. And he separated from Krishna during the episode of the Shamantaka jewel. At that time, Akrura had to take up an ignoble residence in Varanasi. Apparently, Mother Yasoda and the other residents of Vrindavan are not crying like the gopis, for they sincerely believe Krishna will be coming back within a few days. The elder gopis were not crying, only the younger ones, those who are his gopi friends. Led by Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd man followed behind Lord Krishna in their wagon. The man brought along many offerings for the king, including clay pots filled with ghee and other milk products. With his glance, the Lord Krishna somewhat pacified the gopis, and they also followed behind for some time. Then, hoping he would give them some instruction, they stood still. As he departed, the best of the Yadus saw how the gopis were lamenting, and thus he consoled them by sending a messenger with his loving promise, "I will return." You know, you see this thing here? It says, "I will return." But sending their minds up to Krishna, the gopis stood as motionless as figures in a painting. They remained there as long as the flag top of the chariot was visible, and even until they could no longer see the dust raised by the chariot wheels. They were completely mind was gone. They were in pain. Then the gopis then turned back without hope that Govinda would ever return to them. This is point. Without hope that Govinda will ever return to them. Full of sorrow, they began to spend their days and nights chanting about the pastimes of their beloved. So they were in shock. They know he will never come back. Actually, Krishna never came back. He only met them briefly in Kurukshetra during the solar eclipse, and that was it. Of course, there's another part I read somewhere, I don't know where, that after killing the last demon, there was about near Mathura, what's his name? The last demon, Sisupala and Dandavakra. Then he went back to Vrindavan. I don't know where I read this thing, but then there he sent them all back to the spiritual world, and then he went back to and his other pastimes. I cannot confirm this, I have to check. So you can see how they were so intense. I think Mother Yashoda became blind. Krishna didn't come back, she was crying and crying and crying until she became blind. And all the Gopals and the cowherd boys and they were all... This is all written in, I think in other, Puranas, you can find details. Because this is the intensity. I mean, I spoke only of the gopis today. There is also the intensity of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so it's all wrote in the book. That will take again a lot of time to explain the intensity. A separation of the Lord, the devotees. That's why they are not interested in anything else. They are not interested in wealth or, assets or positions or anything. They just want to be with the Lord. That's it. Yeah, this is the mood of the gopis and the devotees also. That's why here Prasiddha, they just don't want nothing. That's why the word is atripta chakshusa. Because nobody can be happy completely after seeing the Lord. Of course, once you see the Lord, there's another verse. I think it is in the second, third. That the sages, when they saw the Lord, then they saw that here the Creator has completed His creation by creating this form of the Lord. There's another word also. It's the second or third unto somewhere. Because the beauty of Krishna is unparalleled. It's so intense. It's just attractive. That's why the word is Krishna. The word is used. That means He attracts everything, everybody, anybody. And once the person is attracted, they don't want to see anything else. See how beautiful Krishna is. You cannot imagine it. Understand? The poets and all these guys, they are trying to, somehow or other describe it. That is beyond. Very difficult. As you see, the transcendental form of the Lord is so beautiful. When you're seeing Him, you're not different here, you see how beautiful. Yes? And Krishna, Supreme Personality of God. So unless you have love, there's the word, Brahma used the word, no? Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santa sadeva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam tham sundaram achintya gunaswarupam govindamadi purusham aham bhajami. Premanjana, with love only you can understand. Without love, it's not possible to understand this. All the details that we have spoken. intensity. Then also the gopis, that's here we are talking about the gopis, then also the queens also. When they were sleeping with the Lord, they were crying. Because as soon as the day comes, the Lord will wake up and go away. Even then, there's praise also. Intensity of the mood of separation. Nobody wants to be separated from the Lord. You understand? That's the potency, the power of Krishna consciousness. That you don't want nothing anymore. You only want to be with the Lord. Period. That's why there's a verse also, 11, 20 is it? 11, 20, 33, 34. Even I offer them anything, they don't want nothing. They just want to be with me only. Right? They just don't want that separation. Even you offer them what? The Salokya, the what? Srishti and Samipya and Sarupya, all this, they don't want it. They just want to be with Krishna and Lord. So of course, in one sense, you are never separated from the Lord. There's another point you have to understand. The gopis, although it's seeming like that they are separated, but he never separated. Why? Because the Lord is always in the heart. You understand? So the moment they feel so much distress, the Lord from within the heart, he inspires them again. In fact, there's a verse, in that, I think Antya, the Lord doesn't take one step out of Vrindavan. Eka what? That was, I think it's Antya Leela. He does not take one foot out of Vrindavan. He doesn't go. Na Tyajet. What is the verse number? 16. 1.67, no? So here you see, he doesn't take a step out of Vrindavan. Do not try to take Krishna out of Vrindavan, for he does not go anywhere else at any time. See? The Krishna known as Yadu Kumar is Vasudev Krishna. He is different from the Krishna who is the son of Nanda Maharaj. Yadu Kumara Krishna manifests his pastime in the cities of Mathura and Dwarka, but the son of Nanda Maharaj never at any time leaves Vrindavan. Right? Oh, this is another word. Now Bridget.
Prabhupada mentions it like that. Vrindavan Parichetya Padamekam Nagachu. There also is question 9.
So okay, this is how Krishna, you cannot say that he left. He is always there. Krishna will never leave the association of the gopis, that's for sure. Just that he, to intensify their devotion, he does not appear to them directly. But you have to understand this in action. Alright, so any comments or questions on this point of, I was trying to stress on this point of atrapta chakshusaha. This is the point. So anybody have any more comments or questions? She is of course seeing him everywhere. It's not that she doesn't see him everywhere. You understand? You follow? But she wants to associate with him directly. You understand? This one is direct association. Because the Lord is always there everywhere. Like now He is also here everywhere. Correct? We cannot see Him because, maybe you can see Him, I don't know. So that intensity of love, that's why we read all the verses just now. They want to have direct association with the Lord. Understand?
There is a verse in the Padjavali 240. The Sangam Viraha Vikalpe Varamika Viraho Nasangamantasya Ekasya Eva Sange Tribhuvana Apitanamayan Virahe. Separation from Krishna, the Radharani. You can actually search SP 240.
240 what? Antya.
No. You can just search. No. F2. SP 240.
240.
SP.
Huh?
Must write SP.
SP.
Space 240.
Patyavali. What the unknown?
About the Radharani's feeling.
That's the point that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also said, this point, that you are a devotee of Krishna, therefore you see Krishna everywhere. As a verse, So, he spoke to Ramananda Rai or something. Yeah? What number? Because you are a devotee, you constantly see him everywhere. So like that, a pure devotee is always seeing the Lord everywhere. Understand? Yeah? But the mood of separation is to intensify that love, So that's what Krishna does also. Just like he told Narada, you can only see me this life only once now. You will not see me anymore. The reason why the Lord did that way you will intensify your love for me. You understand? So the same way the gopis, if they are crying and crying, that pleases Krishna most, intensity of love. What is that, Ramananda, right?
8,274.
8.224. 274. स्थावर जंगम देखे ना देखे तर मूर्ति सर्वत्र है निज देव स्तुति. This is the verse. The Mahabhagavata, the advanced devotee, suddenly sees everything mobile and immobile, but he does not exactly see their form. Rather, everywhere he immediately sees the manifest, the form of the Supreme Lord. This is the vision, Mahabhagavata, Srimati Radharani. Same verse here, you got it. The same verse, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Same verse, that's now the Padjavali and this is the same verse as the Bhagavad Gita. This Sarva Bhuteshu Ya Pasya, Bhagavad Gita also this verse. 639? 630. So it is all repeated here and there, the same verse. This is also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the Bhagavatam was 11 to 42 or something, 45. So this is how a pure devotee sees, Not that he space out, Huh? Understand? That's why he always in bliss, because he is always with the Lord. He cannot leave, He is a pure devotee. So, okay, anything else?
One more verse is there. 7:755.
7:755. Bhagavatam.
What?
The same verse, no?
Another one. Below one. Yeah.
Devotee sees everyone and everything in relationship with Narayana. Narayana Mayam. Everything is in expansion of Narayana's energy. Just as those who are greedy see everything as a source of money making, those who are lusty see everything being produced to sack. The most perfect devotee, Prahlad Maharaj, saw Narayana even within a stone column. This does not mean, however, that we must accept the words of Darida Narayana, which has been magnified by some unscrupulous person. One who actually envisioned Narayana everywhere, makes no distinction between the poor and the rich. To single out Darida Narayana, poor Narayana, reject the Dhani Narayana, rich Narayana is not a vision of devotee. Rather, in that is the perfect vision of materialistic persons. Last verse of the 7. Narayana Mayam. Just they say everywhere it's Vishnu Mayam. They say Shiva Mayam. They also say that. It's very important verse. Just now we said, no? One who's that verse, no? This is similar to that verse, no? What is that verse? Krita Punya Punjaha. The same, those who saw in the assembly, some saw Krishna as an honorary person, some saw him as a super soul, some saw, But the devotees, they were jumping on it, that those devotees. Itiham, Itiham was it? Yeah, Sukhana Buddhya. What is the number? I'm going already, very late. Come on, last verse. Itiham Brahma Sukhana Buddhya. What is that number? Come on. 10, 12, 11. It is quoted by Sukadeva Goswami. Prabhupada quoted this also many times. Goes all the way, so many verses.
In just now, that one, Bhagavad Gita 11 or 8, the purport, only that one verse is there. Now, still right.
F. F5.
This one is only one verse. 11, 8 purport.
Here the Supreme Person who is considered the impersonal Brahman by great sages, the Supreme Personality of Godhead by devotees, and a product of material nature by ordinary men. Now these boys who have performed many, many pious activities in their past lives are playing with that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the verse. They see, everyone sees the Lord differently. Yes, some see him as impersonal Brahman, some see, devotees see him as Supreme Personality of Godhead. Some ordinary man think is an ordinary, what's that? Avajante mam muta, manasyantanam ashvitam. But here, the boys are playing on his shoulders, and these boys have done heaps and heaps of pious activity in order to qualify to the lovers. Okay, thank you very much. To anybody in the WhatsApp, in the Facebook. All right, we stop here then. Thank you very much.